I was musing the other day going into this. I was like, you know, it'd be great if there was a climate question. I know it's not going to happen, and obviously it's ridiculous, but like the single most important policy issue, you know, tied probably with preserving American democracy, I think they're probably linked, is like, what do you think? I think climate change is happening, and how are we going to hit the Paris goals, like something like that? And to their credit, they asked it, and it was interesting.
Early on.
And it's interesting to me. They understand that they're on the wrong side of this issue. They have awareness of it, which is the reason that Ron DeSantis realized he was in a corner. And the corner is there's the base and the fossil fuel interests who are enormous funders of the Republican Party, who don't want you to say that climate change, of course, is real. And then there's the fact that it's not actually that politically popular to be like, no, it's made up, it's a hoax. And so he doesn't raise his hand. He says, well, he sort of throws the table over, right? He did that a few times where it's like, you're not going to put me in the box because I'm not going to like answer your first question, which to me at least telegraphs that he understands. And I think they all do that, like, it's not happening. You guys are, it's all a fiction is just a harder and harder line to sustain.
But you know what, from an old school politics, you know, because I look right over at you, Nicole, I thought they missed such a sort of easy, low over the plate opportunity that George W. Bush would have seized on, because the question was asked with Maui as the premise. Not one of the supposed, you know, evangelical Christians, even Pence, who's sort of an old school politician, took the opportunity to even say anything about the people who've died in Maui. Like, they didn't even try to pretend that there's any compassion left in the compassionate, because like that's obviously gone. It was just a lot of yelling about how we need to drill, and they just ignored the question altogether. But I guess they understand that for younger voters, this has placed them, this and abortion, placed them so far beyond the pale for any
Totally right. And I think, listen, I mean, I worked for the last Republican candidate who lost on the drill, baby drill message. So it's a loser. What was so interesting, first of all, that young man who asked the question won the debate for me. It was so respectful. And it's like, he's not going to, none of them are going to answer a climate question from any of us. But to treat him so disrespectfully. Now, the evangelical vote in America, to the degree that it goes Republican, it started caring a whole lot about climate in about 2002. So it's been, and I don't know if Trump just blew him away with all of his lack of morals, or, you know, they forgot about it. But this is a real rupture inside the evangelical vote. They care a whole lot about the planet. And this young man asked the question in good faith, and none of them swung at it. I'm as fixated as you are, though, on the structural things, on climate, on abortion, and on Trump and the big lie. I mean, in Pennsylvania, in Michigan, where they've had to vote on people like Doug Mastriano and people who are big lie advocates, they've been giant electoral losers. So they did themselves no electoral favors tonight by not distancing themselves from any of those big things that put off voters, their own voters. Abortion, climate, and the big lie are losers.